All right.
Springfield, Canada, Philly, Utah, Maine, Connecticut. Shout out to all those places. St. Louis, the UK, New York, Tennessee, South Carolina, Houston, Rhode Island, Belgium, Berkeley. Shout out to all those places. Saudi Arabia, Argentina, you know, all of that. Chicago, somebody from live from Turkey, you know what I mean? I got, hey, we ain't getting to Turkey, but we here. But we got we got energy from all over. So I'm just grateful for that, to be able to build the community from where it started to where it's at right now. So let's get straight to it. First, I appreciate the NBA and the Celtics for nominating me for the Social Justice Champion Award. That I think is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the one who highlights that and emphasizes that. Kareem was also a great player, one of the players that I also grew up looking up to on and off the court. And now they made a social justice award. I'm not sure why the NBA decided they need to create this award. They've actually asked for my participation over the course of the last 5 or 7 years, and I turned them down every time. I'm the type of person, chat, I don't really feel like you need an award for doing, you don't need to be rewarded for your responsibility. I honestly feel like it's a responsibility to my community. I know some people don't feel like that, but to be nominated or rewarded for something that you should be doing, I feel like I should be. It's my responsibility. I feel called to do this type of work, what I do with education and STEM. Like it's a weird thing to feel like you should be compensated. I have a platform. I've been blessed. God has blessed me. So I take that responsibility and I pour into my community. And I've been in Boston for the last 10 years and I've done numerous, a lot. I've done a lot of different stuff, a lot of different programs. Some of you have heard of them. Some of you have seen them. Some of you have been a part of them. So it's never ever, and those for you in the chat, like if you really want to do something well, have no intention behind it. Like don't do something for acknowledgement, like, because your intention, one thing I learned about, your intention is everything. So I never intended to be nominated or to be selected for any type of award at any point during my lifetime. Honestly, I get that from my grandmother, is my sense of community. So I feel like as we continue to build this sense of community, I want y'all to share that, man. Doing something nice for somebody don't always have to have a return. Doing something that you're passionate about that can help make people or family thrive or smile or be in a better position. You don't need no return for that. So the reason why I allowed them to nominate me, because just from the foundation standpoint, my mom thought it was important. Like she twisted my arm and she thought, like, let them nominate you because the notoriety that you can bring and share on some of the things that you're going to be doing, and that projects you're going to be launched, it'd be great to get the eyes on people who need the eyes the most. And sometimes winning an award can help bring eyes to projects and initiatives that you are working on. So we currently, have Boston Exchange that we just launched, which is in Boston, where we launched a incubator program. Some of you have probably seen it. Like me and Drew Holiday teamed up. My teammate, he invested 500,000. I invested 500,000. We put our money into investing in minority and Black-owned businesses in the city of Boston, where we know in the city of Boston that, historically, systemically, hegemonically, it has been a hard place for minorities and people of color to thrive business-wise,
Exactly.
especially in the city. So, Drew Holiday, shout out to the Holiday family. Shout out to Lauren, the Holiday Foundation. I'm telling great people, like some of the best people you could possibly meet. And I'm so happy that they partnered with me on this initiative because they've seen the impact that Boston could potentially have if we kind of figure out how to use the community and work in the right direction and work together. So Social Justice Award nomination, shout out to the NBA, shout out to X, Y, and Z for including the Juice Foundation, including me in the nomination. Doesn't matter if you win or lose or anything like that. It's kind of weird to even have awards. And that's a whole nother conversation of why that is even an award. I can go into that, but we don't got to do all that, chat. I was just giving y'all an update on that. We got some dope stuff coming soon. But I'll mention some more stuff at the end of the stream. But moving forward, last week, so let's get into the good stuff. This is where all the clickbaiters is ready to clip. Let's get into the good stuff. Last week, I had an exchange online with Stephen A, where he was vocal about what he thought I needed to do, and he also said some other things. So let's watch it together on stream chat. We can react to it together. This is just we're just doing some investigative journalism. This is what one of the clips that was going viral from our exchange. This was his response.
On Jaylen Brown's program. You know where Jason Tatum was?
Let's start it over.
That Jason Tatum hasn't appeared on Jaylen Brown's program.
I can barely hear what he's saying.
You know where Jason Tatum was? Right here on First Take.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry.
Let's pause right there.
I would like for you to
What
stick
type of
around,
journalism is this?
if you don't mind, just because
Jason Tatum hasn't been on my stream, and this is what we're talking about on First Take.
Streams. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at that.
What if JT just don't like being somewhere in an uncontrolled environment? Why are you doing journalism on me having guests on my stream? And this is a part of the reason why I started streaming. This is a part of the reason why people use the term clown and it synchronizes with someone like Stephen A. Smith. Because this is what you're using your platform for. What are you talking about?
He's not pulling no punches, chat.
In other words, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum showed up on First Take before he showed up on your damn show.
What does that have to do with anything? What? This is journalism? This is why I started streaming, chat. What does that have to do with basketball? What does it have to do with performance? What does that have to do with anything relative to like the game? You know what I mean? It doesn't. And this is where, why people call him out, because he uses his platform and his nature. And his nature can be, this is.
It's really cool to see somebody like him like really bring his voice back. You know what I'm saying? It's ads, bro. Just bring his voice back.
Causes issues.
And then this is stuff that's just flying over your head. You think nobody notices that hasn't happened? You're saying it's the year that Jason Tatum was down with an Achilles tear is your favorite year? The year that Jason Tatum had to sit out, this closeout game 7 because of the injury incurred in game.
What's up, Jess?
Can y'all hear?
The volume is not as me.
I can hear it. Here, ready? Pull.
That's your favorite year? The year?
I think they might be able to hear it better now.
Can you hear me now?
Which one?
At the top, yeah, go this way. Keep going. Try that.
That you lose 3-1. Of all the stars in the history of the Boston Celtics, you the only one because you were driving the bus. Ain't nobody pointing to Jason Tatum. He was sitting. Right. He was sitting. He was in street clothes. You the only one. The only star in the history of the Boston Celtics that ever lost a 3-1 lead and surrendered it, and that's your favorite year. Why? Because you and your teammates developed better chemistry and camaraderie? You understand that too? Because you overcame adversity?
See, this is where I gotta pause again. So this is a narrative that he's creating. This is in journalism. This is him making his own opinion and formalizing it about what I had to say on his platform. And this is why,
I wonder what he's trying to say.
respectfully, a lot of people say, fuck Stephen A. Because this is the type of stuff he does, and then he doesn't recognize it. But he's creating a narrative saying that the reason why I'm saying that I had my favorite season is because selfishly I had a best performing year. Not the fact that we outproved expectations, not the fact that everybody expected us to be nothing and we had to fight and we showed up and we competed every single day and we had to fight for every victory. Not the joy of watching our teammates grow, or not the joy of watching guys who are unproven start to solidify themselves as well through leadership, through chemistry. Like, he maybe not doesn't understand that because maybe he's never had to fight for nothing in his life. Maybe anytime adversity is hit, he's rolled over or he's gave in. So he thinks it's the same thing as somebody who has little to no expectation and they stood up and they made a name for themselves. He may not understand that concept, and that's why he's pushing his narrative. But once again, This is what Stephen A is using his platform for. Let's see what he finishes with.
What happens? What's the remedy? Given all these things you're pointing out, I'm with you. But that's why I brought up the whole trade thing again. What are you going to do about it?
I don't mind. But what I'm saying is the first order of business is that he needs to be quiet and like big.
Needs to be quiet. Is he
Let
doing
me
the
stop
shut up
right
and
there.
dribble
You
again?
just say I needed to be quiet.
He's doing the shut
Be
up and dribble
quiet
again.
for who? Man, fuck Stephen A. Stephen A, Stephen B, Stephen C. Like,
He said, F all
my
the
offer
Stevens.
still stands. You want me to be quiet and stop streaming? Well, I want you to be quiet and get off these networks, because you're not using your platform to do real journalism. You're using your platform to use clickbait. You're using your platform to, let's go back and let's use example A. You talking about JT not coming on my stream, and this is the journalism that you're referring to. Man,
Tatum hasn't appeared on Jaylen Brown's program. You know where Jason Tatum was? Right here on first take. Jason Tatum. So in other words, Jaylen Brown.
he thought he ate with that one too. Right here on first take. Man, nobody give a damn about no damn first take. This is, listen, chat. Let's see, y'all can see my full.
He said, nobody
This
get a
is the
damn
reason
about
why
the first take.
I started streaming in the first place.
Crazy.
Did I want to be a streamer?
Jalen's
No.
really.
But the media has gotten so bad, chat. The media has gotten so goddamn
I know, it's been a
bad
while
where it's
since I
like,
watched First Take myself.
anytime you say anything as an athlete, it's going to be taken and pulled in different directions. We already seen the example of that. I know it's going to happen. That's just the world we live in. But at least now, because I have an obligation, like it's my job to speak to the media. Like it's in my contract. If I don't speak to the media, I will be fined. What did Marshawn Lynch say? Everybody know the famous quote, I'm here so I don't get fined. If you don't speak to the media as an athlete, you get fined. So I have a media responsibility. I have a media responsibility as well, just like anyone else, any other athlete. The only problem is that for me, I prefer to take matters into my own hands. I'd rather talk straight to you guys, straight to the people. You can see my reaction. You can see my thought process. I'm breaking down the film. I'm breaking down the game. I'm talking about the ins and outs of the NBA. I'm still fulfilling my media obligation.
He is.
But I'm just not doing it in a traditional manner. And that's why, let's pull up the Melo.
That is a good way to go through about it.
And this is an example of Melo talking about, streaming and Twitch and Kick and the athletes and what the future could possibly look like. I'm not trying to put writers out of a job. Like, obviously writers are going to always be involved in the game, breaking down the game, but I think players giving more access instead of giving PR statements, and you get to actually hear from them on their own accord. I actually think that will be seen a lot more going forward, and I think some other people agree.
Yeah, I get that.
A press conference
I get it.
to a company, right? Well, I'm my own IP. I can go do my own press conference. I can go do my own. Streaming is a new press conference. Yeah. Right? Nobody want to sit in the room no more and ask questions and find 6, 7 reporters. They want to get to the nitty-gritty of it and face it face to face with your followers and the people who actually watch. And they the ones who really want to ask the real questions. When I get my message to you, then I get my message to everybody else. Why?
This is why live streaming is like such a transformative platform, because now it gives even athletes like their own voice and a way to fulfill their own the way that they want to do things. Like it's like now you can control your own narrative. That's what Jaylen Brown is all about, just controlling your own narrative and pushing positivity and facts forward over above all else. Not letting all these people on social media, whoever they are, black, white, you know what I'm saying? It's a very good thing. It's a positive thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good take of kind of helping understand of why athletes or why I started streaming in the first place. I think obviously I might be early, But I think, chat, more people will start
I hope so.
to see the same sentiment.
This is type. This is the type of
the media platforms or the normal traditional markets have all turned their revenue to like creating clips through controversy.
Right.
They generate their impressions through polarization,
Right.
and that takes away from actual journalism. And that's exactly what ESPN does. That's exactly what First Take does, and that's exactly why Stephen A. is getting paid to do what he does. But chat, we ain't gonna talk about this all day. Long story short, man, fuck Stephen A., Stephen B., Stephen C., his vocabulary, his delusion, his attire, and his necessity to serve these higher ups. Like, man, I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. You know what I mean? You want me to be quiet? I think a lot of people want you to be quiet as well. You know what I mean? Like, chat, I don't even know. Y'all ain't gonna get me started. Let's move on. Moving on to the NBA. I want to give a shout out to the NBA announced today. Actually, what was crazy, chat, is that what was crazy, chat, is that I think Prime was supposed to announce MVP today.
In the pregame, yeah,
Shams stole the show, and Shams stole the show and announced the MVP. I think he did it on Twitter or social media, which was crazy because I know Prime. It seemed like Prime had a whole, they wanted to debut it on Prime. I know behind the scenes what that looks like. Prime felt like that was a spot that they, wanted to.
Shout out to him for stealing
marketability or whatnot, and that was kind of taken away by Shams. So I'm sure they're not
happy about that.
I'm sure they're not too happy about that.
Obviously not.
But that was interesting. I don't know if y'all seen that or paid attention to that or not. But shout out to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for back-to-back MVP. Give him his credit. Like that's not no easy shit to do, to go back-to-back and being the second player from Canada to be able to accomplish that. From Steve Nash, I thought it was deserving. I think SG had an unbelievable year. Bro is unbelievably talented, so can't even sit here and say like it's not. Like OKC has been winning all season long, dominating, whip players in, whip players out. I think Shai has been, he's been the leader of that. And the coaching staff has also been great in the front office as well. But he's just been on another level. He's been unbelievable. So definitely got to give credit where credit is due.
So
and
I'm trying to
go back to back is monumental. It is not just to do it once, but to do it twice.
But it's good. I can kind of go back and forth.
So shout out to SGA. Shout out to OKC. Looking forward to watching the rest of the playoffs. OKC versus
what do you think about this whole
San Antonio is going to be a great series. I thought.
I'm so mad that I came into this.
I thought Minnesota played well. I thought Minnesota put up a good fight, chat. I don't know if y'all tapped in to the game. It went to 6. It just seemed like Minnesota didn't have enough. I mean, I feel like they had enough from a talent perspective, but
he was talking about earlier, like intentions, like to be intentional about like what you do. You don't do like things for the money and the clout. Me, I'm doing this for the love of the game. I definitely want to be like a little bit more famous, so I can get a little bit more money. But I don't want to sell my soul doing it. I want to be doing it the way that I can do it. It's a learning process, but it's very transformative too.
I don't know. I feel like they just ran out of gas, or they struggled to shoot the ball in some capacities. But a lot of the time they played and they competed, and they looked like the better team in spots. So what's y'all take? I'm not sure what y'all take is. I think that Anthony Ant-Man had a great season. That's my guy. I think I know he was also battling some injury. But, to be able to win that series against Denver and come back, and then a lot of those guys stepped up and played well. I thought Ayo Dosunmu played extremely well. I think he's going to be a name to watch in free agency. I thought he played well. I thought Gobert played well this series. He's in other parts of the playoffs. I feel like Rudy might have struggled a bit. but I feel like he played well this series. I feel like who else? I feel like Nas Reed played well to some degree. I feel like Minnesota has a good group. I thought San Antonio, just Wemby,
Wemby, bro.
I just kind of like can overwhelm a team with his length and his defense, etc.
Wemby can overwhelm
San Antonio got some
somebody,
good
bro.
young killers as well. Stephen Castle, Georgia boy, Devin Vassell, Georgia boy. They got some killers over there that do play both sides of the ball, and that's still young and still figuring it out. Harper, he made some big plays. He's playing like a vet, like super poised as well. And obviously they got the two-headed monster with Wemby and Fox. But they have a good team. They got a good coaching staff. And OKC has struggled against Minnesota a little bit. I mean not Minnesota, chat. San Antonio. So I'm looking forward to watching that series. It's a series on right now. It's game 7. Chad, what's the update? What's the
This is
score
old,
in that game?
by the way. It's like 8 days old.
When I get off here, I'm gonna see if I can catch the tail end of it. But game 7s are always good. Detroit versus Cleveland.
I was hoping,
Who's
Chad.
up?
I was hoping, Chad, that he would be online since the Knicks won, but the Knicks just won. So, nice, man.
Cavs
Maybe
up
tomorrow,
15.
maybe sometime tomorrow he'll do it. I'm definitely gonna watch it
Halftime?
tomorrow.
5 left in the second.
They up 15 at half.
5 minutes left in the second.
It's crazy because
Dang, that
he knows, like in his head, like he's been in that, so he knows like how much work that is. That's crazy. Up 15, like
surprising.
that's 7 possessions. Yeah.
Detroit, they but don't count them out. 15-point lead ain't really nothing. I watched them do the same thing versus Orlando and come all the way back from 20.
Look at me saying that it's a big deal. It's nothing to them. Shoot.
So I can don't count Detroit. I'm gonna keep my eyes on that game, chat. But Donovan, his dynamic, just what he brings to a team. James is just an overall vet. I got experience against James in the playoffs. James is not an easy out. Like, let's keep it a buck. Even though it might look like he's doing the same thing and it's easy to stop, James Harden is one of the best offensive players to ever touch a basketball. And even at this age, he still has the capacity to affect the game with his playmaking and then also with his ability
I'd
to
be
score.
sleeping on James Harden. I know this is a surprise to you.
So I'm gonna keep my eyes on that game. If I had to choose, I'm gonna go Cleveland. But who knows? I think Donovan has a capacity to just be very, very just dynamic. I feel like he's the best player in this series. And if he has a game where he can or a second half, I feel like he could pull apart and help his team get to the conference finals, or something like that. But long story short, shout out to Shea, shout out to OKC, back-to-back MVP. I think the people are still waiting on what necessarily is the criteria for MVP. I think that'll help out a lot of people that are still kind of like questioning whether they move the bar, whether they don't move the bar, what's the criteria. But nonetheless, Shea had an unbelievable year. Like, it ain't no question about nothing. You know what I mean? He had an unbelievable year. So shout out to him and shout out to OKC. Looking forward to watching them in the playoffs as well. The Knicks destroyed Philadelphia. I thought Philadelphia they played us extremely well, and I think that they was not the same team when they played the Knicks. It didn't look like it.
It didn't look like it, no.
It didn't feel like it. It definitely didn't look like it. But they played us extremely well. It seems like they struggled against the Knicks. The Knicks also has the size to guard and Embiid, and I think they did a good job of kind of wearing down on them and whatnot. Like Mitchell Robinson, Cat, without fouling them, and then and maybe potentially some others where it just seemed like that made a big difference. And in our series, Joel made a massive difference because we didn't really have anyone who could guard Joel. I seen the clip me trying to guard Joe. He got 100 pounds on me. My back still, you know what I mean? But shout out to New York. They advanced into the conference finals yet again. And they'll face either the winner between Cleveland in Detroit. So it should be a good playoff. I think the playoffs has been at least to some part interesting. Chat, y'all can let me know what y'all think if y'all fucking with the NBA playoffs or not.
He's
You know what I mean?
double the
I gave my
size of a large
sentiment
man,
on
triple the
kind of what
size
I
of
see
me.
in a sense from an
And
officiating
Joel is
standpoint.
still
I think
twice
once again I
that,
feel like
bro.
that's
So it's
definitely
like that
changes
guy is huge,
outcomes
bro.
of games. Once you
He's
change
probably like a skinny
drastically
Shaq.
how the regular
Shaq, the
season is
last person who was
officiated,
that big was
and
Shaq,
then
Shaquille O'Neal.
the playoffs get officiated totally different. Teams trying to you got to almost come up with a whole new game plan.
Back then,
It's
centers would be
completely
giants.
different.
They're
And
just a little bit skinnier now
there'll be
these days.
sidebar
But centers
conversations and stuff going on. Hopefully, to maybe address some of those things. It's not easy being a referee. It's not easy in that stuff, especially not in the playoffs. But some of the stuff that we've been getting, I think the results that we've been getting deserve a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think as the rounds go on, I'm in hopes that the officials get a little bit better. But I've been seeing there's been complaints from all over. All different type of fan bases have been pointing stuff out, flopping, all different type of things that, obviously don't make it fun to play against, but obviously don't make it fun to watch either. And that's a part of it is that's our product. So looking forward to having those conversations with the league, with Adam or whoever, as the game continues to advance, and as the sport continues to advance, I think streaming will continue to advance as well. I don't think every player is going to be a streamer. I would hope not, but I definitely think, more players, as you already started to see, is trying to take the narrative into their own hands, because the media and the narrative right now is just solely based on clickbait, solely based on impressions and engagement, and truth is far and few in between. And
it
I
is,
agree that
Shaq.
there needs to be more representation in our in media in general, between reporters, between networks. But the way some of these dudes is going on about it, for example, Stephen A. Man, if they on that and then they have the delusion that they think they actually are playing the game and they're on your side or they're your brother or something like that. Them type people, man, stay far away from. I'm being very candid with y'all. Those who are listening who can understand what I'm saying. When people pretending like they for you, but they really only serving themselves and they trying to disguise it as if they pulling the ladder down and
Stephen
help
A.
pull
might
you up.
always
When in
listen. I
reality, the
just
only ladder they focused on is the ladder to them and they higher ups who they serve and they worship. Don't
I
listen
feel
to
that
nothing none of
100%.
these dudes
I
say,
feel that
dog.
100%.
It's
I
over with.
learned that
The
just
two-faced
recently.
choosing both sides, playing the game, or what they call playing the game, chat, is a choice in 2026. Not for all. Some have to because I think that, we're in positions in America where resources are scarce and you got to do what you got to do to take care of your family. I'm never going to talk about those people. That's, I understand that. But some people who already have a platform and just are continuing to improve the rhetoric or the agendas of these higher ups they serve instead of actually having a mind for themselves or having a backbone to stand for what they actually believe in. They gotta continue to just kiss ass and then actually go on a platform and act like they your friend and they helping you.
You don't think every player should stream? Obviously, there's going to be players who will take advantage of that. Obviously, but I think that it's going to be important for people who are prolific like Jaylen Brown to actually stream. But the problem is that there's going to be more bad than good. Obviously, because there's going to be more people who are not more ignorant. But there's people who's already been doing it, like what's his name, Green from the Golden State Warriors. He's been doing that for a while. And he's been putting on his own voice. It's been enjoyable to see him stream and react to things. You know what I'm saying? Um, so there's that. So they should be more what if LeBron James, he's such a big brand. What if LeBron James started putting his own narrative? That's people are gonna obviously pay attention to the more ignorant, players in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? The people who are more fun. But you know, I look forward to the voices who really bring more critical thinking to the thing. You know what I'm saying? More politicking. Like I need like more like brainy people in the NBA to kind of stop. I feel like it would take away from small streamers. I think so. Yes, uh, it is. I think it's always going to be harder for strong, especially celebrities, like sports players start streaming. I feel like that you're correct that it will be hard for all streamers, but there's still a lot of people who just don't watch sports who would still enjoy small streamers. And like the thing is like people like Queso and Bert Peanut, they blew up in their niches because they were more unique. Um, and I think even despite having NBA players on this platform, like I think still small streamers, as long as they're a little bit lucky and they're consistent, they can still make it even past all the odds. So I mean, like, yeah, I think I agree with you, but I think that is also something that we're just gonna have to accept if that's gonna happen. I'm sure it's gonna start happening more and more often. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there'll be streaming agencies. I'm sure there already are. Because we got like AMP and and like Supreme Dream. Big brand names, Clover House, and even individuals who are huge streaming, making it hard or impossible for small streaming. I've seen multiple streamers say that it's impossible to get big on Twitch or other online platforms. Um, you just gotta keep going and keep building, beating the odds, and just hoping because it's like there is a formula to it. Lord knows that I'm not well at doing the formula, but I know that I'm not gonna give up. But I feel the frustration every day. That's a whole different conversation we can get into. Like I feel the frustration every day about like not being recognized as a streamer. But I also know that I'm very new, that I need to hone my craft even more. You know what I'm saying? To make myself stand out because I'm very new. I'm not as entertaining as these other streamers, so I know that much. I know that there's certain things that I'm not going to compromise. And I'm not as risky. I know that. But that's going to be okay. Because the people that I want to watch me are not going to be ones who find things so entertaining so quickly. Like, they're going to really like sit there and listen to what I say. Because it's not going to be all fun and games all the time. It's going to be important stuff. But I don't know. But I think you are right that it's going to be harder for small streamers if more celebrities come in. But the thing is, it's going to forever be harder. It's getting harder and harder every day. It's getting harder and harder every day. And so until like push comes to shove, until we figure something out, that's just something that honestly, that's just something that like that we're gonna have to deal with until either we change the system or make our own system. And Lord knows I'm not organized enough for that. So yeah, Torbjorn is fucking me up right now.
These people got to be motherfucking crazy, man. And then they got the audacity to tell you to be quiet. Man, the offer still stands, chat. I said on Twitter, for those who need context, I said on Twitter, I'll stop streaming. I never wanted to be a streamer. I started streaming because I felt like I had to, because it was the only thing that could control or help with fighting against the clickbait, guerrilla-based media and narratives that are out there. Like, I thought...
It's always funny how, like, switching to my iPad 1 sec, my gaming headset is making this weird sound. Alright. Let me know when you're back. What I will say. It's time for the teams to consult their playbooks. What I will say is that, like, the people who don't even want to be successful in certain areas are more successful than people who really want it sometimes, because, like, it's not out of passion, it's out of necessity. And so they treat it more professional than people like me who does it like every day or on a random, on a whim, who doesn't have it all together. It's a different mindset for me. And so they'll put in more effort and grind for that. My teammates are, my teammate is absolutely living that. My teammates are absolutely living that. The DPS ain't doing well. That's supposed to be good. I mean, honestly, I don't understand, like, online crash outs. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Like, like, if your team sucks, you complain about your team sucking. I guess, I get it. Because, like, it feels like you're doing it all on your own.
If they won't quit, neither will I.
But if you're, like, out of war rank, I'm not exactly sure what you expect. But this May is kicking my ass right now. Let me know if you're back in the chat so I can continue the video. The May out here just absolutely. Absolutely killing us that minute. Get back to the team, flip up a little bit. I don't know about to. Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew they were gonna come after me. You're back? Alright, let's keep it going.
It would be more wise or behoove me, instead of you hearing second and third and fourth and fifth fiddle for what I'm thinking. You get to come on here and hear exactly what I got to say about the game, everything, in real time, instead of hearing it from X, Y, and Z. So I never wanted to be a streamer, so my offer still stands. I'll stop streaming. I'll shut it down. I'll go do what I got to continue doing my business, get back in the gym, get back to work for next season. But, let's kill two birds with one stone. Tell this motherfucker to retire, because he's the face of clickbait media at the point. And maybe with his retirement, we could spark a movement to get the rest of these motherfuckers out of here, or to also have some type of forget journalistic integrity, actual integrity, in order to hold themselves accountable to the bullshit takes they put out with no basis, no bias, no information, just narrative, just for the sake of just pushing a weak narrative, just purely out of that.
What's annoying about having a man?
I'll give it up. I'll pass streaming. I'll sign some streamers or some shit. I'll you know what I mean? It ain't a big deal. Y'all ain't never heard from me before this. Think about it. I don't do no media, no podcast. I don't do none of that. I barely post on social media. But the fact is that my obligation is to, as an athlete, I'm obligated to speak to the media. It's my job. Like, he thinks the media is his job, and so is it. It's my job too. It's in my contract. If I do not speak to the media, then I will be fined. So when they use that comparison where it's my job, it's your job to play basketball, it's also my job to speak to the media. It is also my job to speak to the media. I get fined if I don't. It's in my contract. I wish it wasn't. If I didn't have to speak to the media every single day, y'all probably would never hear from me. It's a part of my job. Some of y'all don't know that, so maybe y'all get tired of hearing certain athletes, but they have, if you do not speak to the media, you will be fined. If you do not read this rule book, your head will be shaved. That's a movie reference.
Yeah.
But if you don't speak to the media, you will be fined.
Yo, Chad, hold on. That's a movie reference right there, Chad. I don't even know about that. Let me think. Let me look for it. I gotta watch that movie. I actually don't even know what to tell them. Only 20 seconds left until you kick this round. I need to watch that movie. It sounds like it's hilarious.
That's the truth. Like, that is, like, if I come in and be like, I ain't talking to nobody today, they can find me. And if I come in tomorrow, if I ain't talking to nobody, they will find me. So my thought process, how do I work around that? Instead of, I'm gonna do it on my terms. If I gotta talk to y'all motherfuckers, I'm gonna do it on my terms. If y'all wanna hear my takes, this is how y'all gonna hear them. Because if I give them these takes to these other media, they gonna try to build a narrative against me or turn it into something that I don't even, it's get weird, bro. Like, what are y'all talking about? But when they run with this media and when they run with this narrative, they're gonna be like, it's Stephen A's job and it's Kendrick Perkins' job and it's my job to talk to the media. It ain't your job to be a clown. It ain't. And this whole playing the game, this delusion that y'all running with, y'all making it seem like I'm playing the game and I'm pulling the ladder down. Y'all ain't doing nothing but helping y'all motherfucking self. And I'm tired of that shit. Y'all not being and that's why people calling that shit out. And that's why I've came to that conclusion. And I'll tell Stephen A, whoever else, when they see me in person, I will let you know that it's fuck Stephen A, Stephen B, Stephen C, directly to your face. So you don't even know. Like, it don't gotta be no, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? That last statement took the cake. Like, you talking about JT coming on my stream, and what did that have to do with anything? It's the same conversation we had before. What are you supposed to be doing journalism? You supposed to be talking about the game and sports, my performance. Cool. We blew a 3-1 lead. Understand, I can take accountability for that.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
But
when you start bringing this other stuff up and you don't see how that line is getting crossed, when you talk about other people's families and you talk about other people's character and you talk about other people's personal lives, etc., and you cross that line and you don't think somebody gonna cross that line back, boy, you crazy as hell. Boy, you better get that vocabulary out the way, first off. Then you better get that the attire, get that going, Jack. Then it's the delusion in your brain because you think somehow that you helping the people or you pulling down the ladder or you supporting. Boy, you ain't nothing but a cozy fire and a burning down house. Get that out of here. And then you just had this servitude that you have for your higher ups. Like, why? Like this loyalty and servitude for the higher ups that gave me this job or gave me this contract. My willingness to serve and da da da.
This is when it get copyrighted, chat, for some reason. The stream got copyrighted. I know roasting. I know this whole stream got copyrighted for some reason. I think because he started playing music. He don't care, just because it's not really his main sleeves. We're just gonna have to skip through all this. 54.
Here with UMG.
One I did here, and this wasn't on Iceman though, because I love post type.
look at the little snippets. I know it's a huge chunk too. It's 36 to.
You know, people
That's
had thoughts
about
about
20
Drake even
minutes.
doing West Coast type style music, post Kendrick Lamar type beat, but you know, the shit was alright. I think I enjoyed that one out of all of them the most. You know, part of, you know, maybe because I love West Coast music and I also spent some time on the West Coast, but you know, that was the hardest one I done heard for sure. So I thought that one was dope.
This is the thoughts on Drake.
Let me listen to one or two more.
What about the Lil Shimmy one? That's probably.
Oh yeah. So this is the one I did hear.
Shimmy.
This was the one I did hear, and this wasn't on Iceman though.
Yeah, this is off one of the other, I think, projects. He dropped 3 albums at once.
Yeah, it's probably a bunch of people overstimulated. I was like, we all sorting through it, but you know, it's dope to see artists
still
share
haven't
music
listened.
going into the summertime. You know, music make people feel alive. Music.
I still haven't
help
listened to
people
the
with their
other
mental
two
health,
albums.
all type of
Chat. I
stuff.
think
So
I need to do
when
a
artists be
little,
able to
listening
put it
party
out,
on
and it kind of seemed like
second and
before we
third
click
one
onto the
for
next side, it kind of seemed like he put out these albums in order to get to
out
like
of his
independency or something. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's the case, but it's
think
on.
it is.
You think it is?
Yeah,
Wait,
I think, no, let me pause it. I think he did exactly that. I think he was on a three-term deal with UMG, and instead of just over 3-4 years of letting stuff marinate or a year, whatever, for each album, he turned in 3 deals. So now he basically is like, I'm a free agent.
So
he's owning the IP.
So that's the
upcoming.
story. That's the fucking story right there. That Drake did these albums and now is moving into his own lane of independency, or
Renegotiate for his masters, maybe with money or whatever he wants to do.
or renegotiating his leveraging position by completing or whatever his ask was. So that I salute that as someone who's
That is a
taking an
pretty
independent
good
journey
flex.
as well. That is also kind of renegotiating my leveraging power for another artist to be doing that at the very highest level. It seemed like, and obviously you may take whatever route, but if you do hear this, taking an independent route or finding the lane that kind of sets the tone for the next generation of artists, because there's so many people that Drake is watching and they're gonna be influenced by, and he could fuck the game up if he'd be like, you know what, the music industry is this, is that, which he has done at some points, but to be able to create a platform or a blueprint to what the next generation could look like in terms of owning your own IP and your masters and all that type of stuff. So I'm not sure if that's what he thinking. Maybe he is, maybe he ain't.
It'll be nice
But
if he
it's
did
dope
that.
to see. I ain't never seen nobody put out 3 albums like this. Cause people ain't gonna be able to. It's almost like, bro, just here y'all go, and I'm moving on to this next part of my life and this next part of my music career.
Alright, so it comes to more copyrighted music, Lil Shimmy and Drake, because UMG and Drake, they're gonna copyright their music and stuff. So it's a shame that we can't listen to the music with Jaylen and see his thoughts, but it is what it is. Like I said, he's not
This
gonna
whole
want
album,
to do that.
he wasn't really even trying to. He just trying
Not
to
really care about that.
get to whatever
but
the next part of his career is. I think he was
maybe
just
we
trying
gotta
to get out
catch
of
him
his
live
deal,
one day.
move forward. So he just dumped a bunch of music with no context, and I would love to see artists and stuff tell a story with their albums again. You know what I mean? Like from track 1 to track to the end, like create a full piece. I feel like that era is not really it's not really emphasized in our era no more, for real. But you know what I mean? That's just my thoughts. That's just mine. Take it with a grain of salt. That's just coming from me. But shout out to Drake. Shout out to Iceman. Shout out to all the projects. Moving forward, we got the
Absolutely.
the RCU.
We need more independence and everything.
I wanna. This whole season we've been streaming. We've been dropping stuff on stream. I wanna
We need more independence and everything.
premiere or debut.
It's crazy because it's just in terms of politicking and stuff, having big corporations and government is not always good. But we do see the consequences. Just make sure that this screen is plugged in properly. Yeah, it is. Okay. Can sometimes ruin everything when the big brother is not treating the little brother right. You know what I'm saying? But we also, in juxtaposition, need the government to make sure that things, or big companies needs to make sure that things are right. So like the big companies are never gonna follow the rules. They're always gonna take advantage of the individual for their own benefit, for their own interests. Most companies will do that. And the government is probably meant to just protect the common people in general for that. To make sure that like each state or each person is able to have a fair shake at life if things bigger than yourself is not doing well. Obviously these past 2 years has been the opposite of that. But I think that's what it was meant for. And then now that we have like independence, the biggest artist going independent, the biggest artist today, Drake, going independent, would shake the industry crazy. I'd be talking a lot of shit about him. I know that much. Like, if he ever sees this and he sees me say that just now, I feel like he's the type of person at this point of his life right now to just cut me off just for saying that, because in the beef, like, saying I say Kendrick won that. I know that he, in my opinion, has some practices where he takes advantage of people and stuff like that. He doesn't always treat his friends correct, and like whether or not he believes so, it's not. It's just like there it is. It's out there in social media. You know what I'm saying? But it would be good for a big man like him to go independent, to really set the terms on your own way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
First commercial ad for my brand. Speaking of independency with Drake, I've taken that independent jersey with 741, so I wanted to show y'all something for those on the stream so that y'all get to tap into. It's just a story that I built from the compilation of all the different stories that y'all seen me kind of put out individually. I put it all together. And as we look forward into maybe launching a production company, partnering with more people and telling more stories. Science fiction is a world that I love. I love storytelling. I love sci-fi. I love science and exploration and astronomy and physics. So I wanted my brand to represent that as well. So what we want to show when we want to debut is just some of the stuff y'all already seen before, just collected into one thing. So in the future, we got some big upcoming announcements that I'm looking forward to, maybe some future brand partnerships. Because I'm also looking to get some deals closed this summer to kind of build out that world that I want to invite you guys into. Those who love sci-fi, those who love storytelling, those who love space, those who love Guardians of the Galaxy, the Marvel Adventures, or Star Wars and all this.
That's why I'm such a fan of this man.
Type of stuff.
This is another reason why I'm such a fan of this man. You see his, I just noticed he got the 2 trophies in the back.
Those things into like the world that I want to create with products and brands and content and stuff like that.
That's what's up, That's what I really look
creatively, we got some cool stuff coming up.
I'm signing up as soon as I can.
We definitely want to debut like the final piece from the last collection, the rover that we all know. The rover that we all know this is the last run of it. The next season we'll be debuting a new product. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. So the rover silhouette that you all have seen, until further notice, I would advise going to grab it right now, because at some point it's gonna be archived. We're gonna save it, we got other stuff planned for it, but we're looking to move forward to the next world that we want to build. So, I'm sad, but I'm excited at the same time, because we get to introduce a new silhouette, a new shoe, the next rover, or whatever we want to call it. We have some names we've been playing with, but by next season we want to debut the what's to come next. But the rover that we know of today, the rover that you all have seen, the storyline, this is the conclusion of it. So we'll be moving forward from this point going forward. Let's run it.
Humanity once celebrated the path less traveled, a path sculpted by the core essence of advancement, curiosity, the very thing that forges evolutionary leaps in science, technology, and discovery. When lost, a planet life begins to fade into memories long desired to return. The rover's mission: retrieve and restore that power throughout the galaxy, no matter the obstacles placed ahead. The journey begins.
I'm on my way, bro. Today's the day. Let's get it.
The first shoe that came out, that's gonna resell for crazy. Like, so it's
But a journey
selling for
is
140 to
never traveled
180.
alone.
You buy
Oftentimes,
$200,
you
you
find
can lose up
yourself
to $20 to $60.
constrained in a box, faced with a decision.
Or you can gain another $20 in black colorway.
Some obstacles present themselves
Somebody's
in the
selling
form
this for
of a choice.
$350 though on eBay though.
Pick one,
100.
and the other vanishes.
Who knows what that shoe's gonna
Hard
be
work.
worth now that it's gonna be the last
Or
one.
faith.
Hardware tracer. Error detected. All units. Prepare for convention.
But rovers, we create our own path.
Energy levels overloading.
Faith
You can see the type of science
Hard work.
influence that he's been talking about. He loves that.
pays off.
New frequency detected.
The original chat.
So that's just my little acting debut chat. Yo, if you want to check it out, it just launched on YouTube. We'll be launching on YouTube. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Looking to just, creatively build worlds and all that type of stuff. So this is the end of the rover, and we're looking to start the next silhouette going into next season. We're gonna take you on a journey. So we appreciate all the ones for rocking with us with the rover. We got some more colorways, and we're gonna archive it, make it even more extremely hard to get. Because we got a new drop, and we got
I think that's an
some
investment
other stuff
chat.
that we want to have some runway. So just a creative pastime. We got Siggs, we got Sean, who's not here. We got the whole team that put a lot of work into bringing this. Give them got some W's in the chat for the whole Rover team, man. It's been great this whole year. I was an all-star 2 times in my own shoe, in my own company that we created from scratch.
That's fine.
So I take tremendous pride in that. We played in 2 all-star games. Says grab them shoes if you can reach behind the trophy up top. It's like the finals MVP is up there. Can you reach that up there? Up here? Oh, it's one down there. Let's bring that one. Here is this is the first I played in this shoe right here in the all-star game. And this was I got everybody on the team to sign it, and I played in the game with everybody's signature on it. And this was important to me because this is the first independent company from a star athlete that's ever been created. Usually there's partnerships or whatever, but this was just strictly from our backyard. And to be an all-star that season,
I gotta go sleep.
play in your own shoe when everybody around you got these companies and contracts they affiliate. And I'm looking down, and it's this came from my brain, this came from my investment. And then not only was it good, I performed in it, as well. Like I didn't have no injuries or anything like that. It was the quality is there, and then I got all the guys to sign it. You got Jalen Brunson signed, Darius Garland, so Cat signed this one. There's 2 shoes on KD signed. Like the whole team signed it. So like these are, you know, these will be in the museum or history one day if I complete the vision that I have in my brain and I execute it over the next 5 years. You know, these shoes right here that I keep up in my trophy case will be in a museum somewhere, you know, because it's the first of its kind. We haven't seen an athlete take that step. And I know like y'all might not fuck with the design, but we got more stuff coming. It's the first one. Like we just started this out of nowhere. Like it's the first try. Like it take time to build surf and like to do edits and all that take time and more money. So if you don't fuck with design, we got more stuff coming. So just keep an open eye, keep an open mind for us. We got more products coming down the way. We looking to do some more partnerships and we looking to grow. We want to grow with the community. We want to grow with y'all as well. So we definitely got some stuff. Keep y'all notifications on, because we'll let y'all know if y'all want to be involved. But y'all just you see it right now, but see the vision with me. You know what I mean? 5 years from now, what it possibly could look like, and how this could have a precedent on not only our sports, but also our most influential kids in the game. Where maybe in the future you're seeing kids start their own brand, and I can show them how. Or you can see kids signing and doing something different. You know, in the last couple of years, there's new companies that have emerged. You got On Running, you got Hoka that have carved up market space in running. Why not do it in other things as well, like basketball or hiking or whatever else, football. And I think it's time for that. The creativity, I think, has dropped off. Everything has gotten digital, and I've talked about this before. Everything has become clickbait, digital, fake viral moments, bots, paid for accounts. Everybody's maneuvered because the technology comes off as influential. And here's the rebuttal I have towards that. Technology will never replace human beings. Technology will never replace, you know, the influence and the heat signature that a human being, the influence and the radiance and the resonance, and like how your energy, your aura can affect somebody else's energy and somebody else's aura, and that human AI could never replace God's greatest creation, which is us. All the atoms and all the regenerative tissues that we have in our body and our cells regrow. Like God created us in a way that no iPhone, no technology could possibly compete. So it's never gonna be a replacement for those. They will try, and it'll be some, you know, opportunities where people will try to displace human interaction with AI, but I think that is the mistake. AI is supposed to be a tool to help. Never should it ever have been a means, or should it be a means to replace, you know? And sometimes that line is thick to navigate, so I understand that as well. But from a AI side, companies have leaned more towards, you know, the technology, the bots, the paid for accounts, and they moved away from storytelling, the heat signature that athletes, artists, influencers, and creators, they create naturally, organically through grassroots and through the community.
Definitely.
You know, somebody made a decision 5-10 years ago. We don't need that no more. We just gonna use the technology, and that is gonna replace that, and we'll meet our metrics. We don't have to give them the money. We don't have to storytell at all. And you see why nothing seems to stick nowadays. Everything is just like, you can't even remember nothing. Like nothing stands out. It's just like it's just an onset of product that just keeps coming at you. And they hope enough people buy enough to meet the metrics.
Exactly
just
why.
keep coming.
See, Chad, this is exactly why I don't lose hope once celebrities come in. You know what I'm saying? As long as the uniqueness comes in, like as soon as you find like what makes you unique and take advantage of it, then like the world's your oyster. Companies that really try to replace anything, you know, anything and everything that makes you unique and try to take advantage of it and like kind of water it down, make it safe, and make it unimpressionable. You know what I'm saying? I do like the idea of people like Drake. As much as I don't agree with everything he does, I like the idea of people like Drake like going independent and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it'll be a really good thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be a really good thing.
Coming out with more and more products, but no storytelling, no purpose behind it, no organic behind it, no authenticity behind it, and I think that's the mistake. So hopefully that returns. I think it's going to be hard for some brands to make that return because they've already jumped off the ledge with this technology. They're already paying these accounts. They're paying, like these major companies is paying all these accounts, and that's why they're doing clickbait, because they're getting paid to do it. Or, you know, certain accounts also need this to make money, so they generate, you know, controversy, and everything has become, like in the media and through storytelling, it's become, truth-telling has become obsolete, and it's become more about the technology and online presence, and it's real life. You go out in real life and smell the flowers and smell the roses, the whole shit is a whole bunch different.
Yeah.
So this might be our cue chat to get, I know it's kind of probably counterintuitive, but get off of Twitch, go out in real person, go take a walk, go out in real life, go meet some people and interact. You know what I mean? Go exercise. You know, go continue to feed yourself healthy food. All of that stuff is essentially and very important to your overall mental health, your overall physical, your spiritual health. All of that is more important. So, Chad, this is just a reminder. Yeah. Basically, go touch grass. I just see somebody in the chat. Go out, go for a walk, all that type stuff, because the technology has just become so prevalent, and it can feel like it's just definitely having an impact on your mental if you just scroll on the screen all day, just looking at people on Twitch or on chat. Chat, this is a reminder for those of you listening, for those who tapped in all over to go, you know, go out and do what.
You know, I gotta go out more often.
What you need to do, go out and exercise, go out and keep your mind healthy, go out and meet people, and go out and keep that human interaction, because that's extremely important, and that is not probably being emphasized enough in this day of AI. So, you know, that's my 2 cents on technology and AI. Lastly, we got definitely some updates in the community, for sure. Throughout the year, throughout the rest of the summer, I'll tap back in with y'all, let y'all know kind of what I'm seeing with the game, or we got some updates for, you know, some collaborations on stream and whatnot. I'm also looking to do like a complete yard sale. I'm getting rid of all my clothes, you know, so for consolidated prices, I got, for the last 10 years, I've shopped, I've bought clothes and worn them once, worn them twice, from all over the world. I've been on shopping sprees in Japan, all type of stuff, wasted a bunch of money. I'm out of space. I took all that stuff and I'm basically gonna put it online for you guys. So if anybody's interested in the fashion world, anybody wanna, you know, that is a larger or an athlete and you know them, I got, you know, I have a social media page that'll be dedicated to, you know, just basically doing a JB yard sale, all the shoes and all the clothes in the world for better pricing. So Jazz, we'll clip that information.
I don't even know anybody who's that large.
For the most part,
because
that was just the recap. One, you know, the Stephen A stuff. Two,
I saw some people in
the
your
MVP, my thoughts on that. 3 was just the overall state of the game, and what I think and see and feel going into the playoffs. Definitely will be tuning in. Iceman album got some more to listen to, but my personal take was that it was just like him just trying to get on to like the next part of, you know, whatever his deal is. You know what I mean? Like getting to the independency, which is cool. And you know, speaking of that, just 741, we moving into the next chapter, and then just go out and touch grass, go out and play, you know, go out and have some human interaction. Don't forget about that. And you know, that's pretty much it. Listen, don't fall for the clickbait. Don't fall for the narratives. You know what I mean? Y'all have a good understanding of kind of what to see, what is what. So obviously it's gonna be some stuff that people are gonna take, and they should, and it's cool, and I'm okay with that, because you know, I think creating those conversations need to happen. So I'm sure people have already put me up already, but you know, y'all keep being aware of what truth is versus what clickbait and what journalism has kind of led
Yeah,
to.
he definitely
So
needs to be a spokesperson of every brand if possible, bro. Yeah. Oh, here goes more copyrighted. The rest is copyrighted for some reason. Oh, it's because he's listening to more music. Oh, bro, the Cash Money, Young Money era. Dog, don't even think about it. Cash Money, Young Money era, bro. Yeah. Alright, y'all. That's it for me for tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me. Getting a little bit deep in it. I like these deep talks. I like listening to prolific people. You know, I know there's only one person in here, but if you know what I'm saying, like this, tonight, with the Howlin' Moons in the chat. Howlin' Wolves in the chat. If you personally wants me to kind of go more, yeah, there we go, the guy with the shades. If you personally want me to go more into this kind of like videos, let me know. I love this kind of stuff. So yeah. Alright guys, peace out. Good night.